everyone, Sarah here. Welcome to another episode of Stay Creative York County. In today's episode, we are going to be making this piece right here. So this is a glass wrapped in twine and some rope at the top and the bottom. Pretty simple, easy way to take a glass jar or a glass cup or reuse some of your glass bottles and make it into a decorative piece. So what you need to be able to make this is of course a glass, and as I mentioned, this could be one that you purchase. I got this one from the dollar store. It has a bottom that kind of flares out, but you could also use reused materials from the kitchen. So if you have a small spice jar that's glass, a glass bottle that had coffee, tea, anything in it, just make sure you wash it out. And even with this, I did wash it, and then I took a cotton round with some rubbing alcohol and rubbed the surface clean. Then of course, you're going to need something to wrap around it. I used some jute twine and some rope. The jute twine I got from Michael's. The rope I actually got from the Dollar Tree. They have other twines there as well, so you can look and see what they have. But don't feel like these are the only two you can use. You can also use yarn or baker's twine, anything that's similar to this. But what you want to keep in mind when you do choose it is how you're going to put it on the jar. So I did two methods with this. For the lighter twine here, I used a paintbrush and some Mod Podge, which is called a decoupage medium, so people use it to make decoupage stuff. And I put a coat onto the glass and then also coated the top. You'll see that in the video. For the heavier rope here, I learned I couldn't use the Mod Podge for that. That was going to need something a little bit more substantial, and since this is kind of a quick craft, I went for hot glue gun. So hot glue gun for the heavier stuff, something that's quick drying, and then Mod Podge for the lighter stuff, because Mod Podge can actually support the weight and coat this a lot easier than it can the rope. And that is really all you need to make this, except for you do need some scissors, of course, right here, to cut the ends of your twine, rope, whatever you're using. Some optional things that you might want to consider is painting the glass like we've done in a previous video. Let me go get that. So here we have a painted jar where I took a piece of cardboard, I believe, put here, then painted over the rest of the jar with a yellow acrylic paint. Lifted this and then coated the rest in Mod Podge so that I could seal in and protect those edges from chipping off. So you could also paint your glass like this first. You may want to keep in mind, or you might want to use the low setting on your hot glue gun if you have it, so that it may not interact with the paint. It's something I haven't tested, but it is something to keep in mind. So, other than that, I think that's all you need. Of course, bring your imagination to the table, and let's get into the video.
So when I first tried to do this, I tried to use Mod Podge with the rope to wrap around the glass. What I quickly learned was that this was not going to work. The Mod Podge takes time to dry, and it's not going to be able to support the weight of the thicker rope. So I tried my best to make it work, but it was not going to be viable in the end. So unfortunately, I had to scrap that idea. So I decided to start again and use the thinner jute twine to wrap my glass. So after washing off the Mod Podge and getting it nice and clean, I brought out my jute twine and used a paintbrush to put a layer of Mod Podge at the bottom of the glass that I was using. just all the way around so that as I'm wrapping it, I'm laying the twine into the Mod Podge. On that first wrap, I am trying to make the rope meet up with the end where the twine begins so that it sits evenly at the bottom. And then I just continue to wrap the twine around the glass, making sure that it is in the Mod Podge. And then when I get a good section built up, I apply more Mod Podge onto the glass and also onto the twine that has already been laid down so that can begin to dry. The Mod Podge on the outside helps to adhere the twine pieces to each other and just reinforces and strengthens the twine. So just continue up until you get the height of the wrap that you want, making sure to adjust the twine while it's still wet if you want it to be tighter rather than loose. You will accidentally get your fingers probably in the Mod Podge, but that's okay. You can always clean up the glass afterwards. This project has kind of a balance between working fast enough so that the glue doesn't dry, but also slow enough to get the twine like you want it. Make sure that as you're building up to put that coat of Mod Podge on the outside of the twine. So once you've reached your height, you can cut off the yarn or twine. I put a little extra layer of Mod Podge on top and underneath the twine, using the end of the paintbrush to press it in and my finger to smooth it out. So now I'm just going to clean up the rim of the glass and start putting on my thicker rope. So I have a hot glue gun. I'm going to put about 1 inch of glue down and start putting the rope piece onto it. You could measure the rope and cut it beforehand, but I decided not to. So as I'm going around, I am continually applying 1 inch of hot glue, and then I'm just cutting off at the end the amount of rope that I need. So now I have that on. I'm going to start with the top piece. I'm going to make sure that the ends are on the same side. Continue around, applying hot glue, and then cutting off the excess of the rope. Once that's done and I have the ends secures, then it is good and ready to go. And there we have it.
And there we have it. Our glass wrapped in twine and personalized, maybe even an upcycled item. It can add just a little bit of extra personality to a glass. And if you're not going to use it for things like drinking or anything like that, they can just be decorative, dust them every now and then. So yeah, I think I'm going to make more of these and use yarn that I have. I have several different colors. I have the rainbow. Maybe I'll make a jar where it's just the rainbow spiraling up. That would be fun. I've noticed with my last few videos that my pieces have kind of a similar little aesthetic and style. You have these similar colors and things like that. And I just thought that was interesting to think of different crafts going together with different elements. You have the gold and silver aspects here going with the mug. You have the kind of off-white color of the twine in the backing of the message board. Just kind of liked how those went together. So friends, that is the end of the video today. I did show you this painted jar, which was done in an earlier Stay Creative video, so I will link that down below. I hope that you are staying safe and staying comfortable, and I hope that this channel and other videos on the York County Library YouTube channel have helped you stay creative while we've been going through it. So friends, this is the end of the video. So remember, stay safe, stay cool, stay hydrated, and as always, stay creative, York County.